So, a note before we get started here, this was originally recorded before XQC decided to challenge the Olympics over copyright. This video is not explicitly only about that, but I'm gonna bring it up because, dear goodness, that's a great example of what I'm talking about. But just keep in mind that this video is going to incorporate it, but it wasn't the original purpose. The original purpose was to talk about people using other people's videos without permission on Twitch. We're gonna talk about the Olympics, don't you worry. Well, somehow this issue's been kicked back up. Recently, JXE, YouTube fellow that made the 5-hour Doctor Who video, got into a spat with Hasan, Twitch fellow who made the
America deserved 9/11, dude.
video. Jay noticed a spike in their views for a single video, eventually finding out Hasan had streamed it in its entirety on his channel while providing very little commentary and no citation. To quote Jay on the subject directly, "Hasan played my video in full without giving credit on stream, as he left the room to make food or just sat eating, saying almost nothing. I streamed a satirical response. He made bad arguments to justify why it's okay to take people's content without permission and just use it." I don't want to sim for Jay here or anything, but back when the streamer situation came up the first time, I hadn't really put my 2 cents in, so I want to talk about it now. Twitch streamers have an issue with respecting copyright. It's an entitlement they feel, it seems, as they are willing to use whatever they think they can get away with without first getting permission, much less actually crediting the person whose content they're stealing. This was incredibly common with music back in the day, as while it was completely normal for big streamers to play whatever they wanted during their streams without giving it a second thought, that wasn't strictly speaking legal. Copyright holders eventually got sick of their music being used without permission and brought the hammer down, copyright striking VODs that use their music without permission. This led to many big streamers completely deleting their backlogs, since they had no idea which of their VODs would get hit next, since they'd all have been using background music without permission for years. Since YouTube had been cracking down hard on copyrighted music at that point, way before the issue was brought up on Twitch, most streamers should have had a clue that that behavior wasn't going to fly over time. But because they weren't being punished for it in the moment, they felt entitled to use other people's music without permission. In a similar fashion, big streamers are more than willing to stream other people's videos without permission to fill their streams. Jay's video was used without proper citation, as mentioned in the beginning, and used as filler content while Hasan was literally not even on stream. Twitch streamers do this a lot, and there's a certain level of entitlement streamers have to use random YouTube videos to fill time on streams, claiming they aren't stealing the content, and really, they're allowed to do this. They work really hard. It kind of reminds me of how they used to use music, honestly. Weirdly, you never see them use, copyrighted TV shows or movies in this way. Media that has the same kind of copyright protection as YouTube videos, but is guarded much more closely, like music is. It's weird that streamers understand that you'd be stealing a TV show if you played it without permission, but don't feel the same way when it's a YouTube video that they're stealing. Huh, very strange. How odd. I have no idea how that happened. I was wrong. XQC has a sense of entitlement so high that he thinks he can stream the Olympics on Twitch and will fight them in court on this. XQC is a crazy person. Best of luck with that court case, because you normally need a licensing deal to stream the Olympics, which can be valued at billions of dollars. But hey, good luck arguing your mild commentary counts as fair use and you should be allowed to stream the Olympics on Twitch for your audience. Oh boy. Listen, if he wins the case, he will literally redefine how copyright law works, because currently it doesn't work the way he thinks it does. If he wins, literally any paid copyright media would be fair game to stream on Twitch. Live games, films, any single thing that you would normally pay for would be fair game to stream on Twitch, because you could always defend that you're transforming it under fair use. XQC is a madman and has gotten to the level of entitlement where he thinks he can actually start taking broadband television live streams. A common rebuke to the idea that streamers are stealing content is, well, they're making it transformative. And I could have swore this was an argument we've had before, isn't it? Oh no! We had gotten over this years ago on YouTube. Does everyone forget that we had this debate with reaction channels before? On YouTube, I recall there being a big uproar over stolen content a few years ago, with people like Jinx Reloaded being used as examples of people stealing content and doing nothing with it, just watching it with their face on screen. Back then, reaction channels were criticized for not adding anything of significance to their content and just stealing it, putting their face in the corner and adding nothing significant. And yes, for this section, I am probably using Jax Film's video on this because it's really straightforward critique of what this kind of content was. Now, apparently, instead of dedicated YouTube channels leeching views and contributing nothing, we have big streamers doing the exact same thing, except Twitch streamers sometimes aren't even on screen, just straight up leave in the middle of it. It's incredibly difficult to argue that streamers like Hasan are really transforming what they're watching at all when they treat it like filler content to keep their audience entertained while they're busy doing other stuff. A common reaction to that critique is that Twitch streamers stream for like 14 hours a day, and they can't be expected to be running at 100% all the time. Like, come on! You gotta give them a break. Let them play a couple YouTube videos. They're doing so much. First off, 14 hours. Why do you need to stream for 14 hours straight? I get that there's a demand for content streaming, but holy crap, that is a ton of time you expect yourself to be online for. Let me compare this to another industry real quick. Maybe this will make a little more sense. And stay with me here. I'm gonna be a little bit weird, but I'll relate this back, don't worry. The WWE is a professional wrestling company that has a number of live shows, including a 3-hour live show every week on Mondays and a 2-hour live show every week on Fridays. On television, that's a ton of time to fill, but weirdly enough, they don't regularly play YouTube videos when they need to prepare for their next segments or they need some form of filler content. Instead, they'll take the content they've already made, edit together a series of promotional videos or highlights, then air those to fill time while a wrestler is getting ready for the next match or they're fixing up the ring or whatever. Similarly, I get that streamers may need filler content for the gaps in their very long, probably too long schedules. However, by no means do I think that gives Twitch streamers a right to use other people's uncredited YouTube videos as that content. Many streamers, such as Hasan, have a huge backlog and highlights content that they've built up over the years, which they are more than capable of using to entertain their audience when there's a lull in new content. I 100% believe that streamers are able to entertain their audiences with, well, themselves, especially cherry-picked highlights of themselves. It'll take more time than finding a random YouTube video, but it's not like most of these Twitch streamers are editing their own highlights anyways. Just grab one of your own videos that's already been made and available to you, play that as you go get lunch, and then go back and actually do your regular stream. Or, better yet, just get permission. Some people like Internet Historian have explicitly stated they're cool with streamers using their videos, but for those like Jay who haven't said so, maybe consider asking them. It's a bit more work, you might have to DM someone on Twitter, but it avoids any drama YouTubers could have over stolen content and ensures a healthy working relationship with the people who are entertaining your audience for up to an hour at a time. YouTubers are allowed to have control over their content, where it ends up and where it goes. If someone's re-uploading your video, you 100% have the right to take it down. You own your video. You are going to take down re-uploads if you don't want them to be out there. Not only is that fine, Twitch streamers also have that right with their own content and understand this. Oh, but it gives exposure. You and I both know exposure is an argument that's totally BS. Don't even pretend the 5,000 people watching your video on a live stream equates to 5,000 people watching the video on YouTube. That was the same kind of argument reaction channels would try to make. Somehow they were making the original video get more views and they weren't just leeching views off the original video. Heck, if you're not gonna at least go through the effort of crediting the people whose content you're stealing, then the exposure argument is even more BS. There is no leg to stand on here. But none of that's even a genuine concern to Twitch streamers, right? Many Twitch streamers believe that they have the right to use YouTube videos because there is little to no chance of getting a copyright takedown, especially when compared to actual TV shows. There's an unjustified sense of entitlement streamers have here. People just turn on a video they don't have permission to use as filler content for their channel, not even crediting the original creator of that video, and then acting like they're being unjustifiably criticized whenever anyone brings up even a minor offense regarding it. I 100% believe they are stealing content like reaction channels of old, contributing less to the video than those old channels did, and that this isn't a healthy behavior. They should be able to entertain their audience with their own videos, or with videos they have permission to use when they need that filler content. And it's weird that we're still having this debate years after reaction channels, and a year after the debate was originally had before. And now XQC has drop-kicked this debate back into the mainstream. Again, I 100% don't agree with the guy. I think he's full of crap and he's breaking copyright law. He will not be winning his lawsuit. 100% he is in the wrong. And I am amazed by how little he understands copyright law here. But yeah, that's my little 2 cents on it. I wanted to share that before when this was a big deal a while ago. Didn't get the opportunity to, so I'm sharing it now. Thank you guys for watching, if indeed you still are. Comment below what you think about the situation, and I'll see you guys next time.